film opens with Charlie Matter returning home after a happy trip with his young son, Anatoly. When they reach the city, Anatoly eagerly asks to stop and watch a street performer. Charlie smiles and tells him to go ahead while he looks for a parking spot. But moments later, everything changes. As soon as Charlie steps out of the car, a group of masked men ambush him and open fire. Though he's hit by many bullets, Charlie somehow survives the attack. As Charlie drifted in and out of consciousness, memories from his past came rushing back. He remembered his younger days in prison, hearing dark warnings from a mafia boss called Old Timer. With his deep, rough voice, Old Timer had told him that once a man steps into the world of crime, there's no way out. Back in the present, Charlie is taken to the hospital in critical condition. Doctors race to save his life, carefully removing all 22 bullets from his body. The scene then shifts to Tony Zacchia, a powerful and ruthless man who has just learned about Charlie's condition. His sharp look and cold, calculating nature make it easy to suspect he might be behind the attack. Meanwhile, the shooting stuns the public and dominates national headlines. News anchors reveal that Charlie was once a feared mafia figure who had since left the criminal world. This revelation only deepens the tension and mystery surrounding the brutal assault. In the next scene, Police Captain Marie Goldman appears, showing strong interest in the case and choosing to visit the crime scene herself. Meanwhile, as Charlie lies on the operating table, painful memories from his past return. He remembers his younger days when he discovered that Old Timer, the mentor he deeply admired, had been killed by a ruthless rival. The loss filled Charlie with rage and a thirst for revenge. Together with his close friends, Tony Zacchia and Kareem, he plotted to take down Hernandez, a feared gangster they believed was behind Old Timer's murder. Fueled by anger and the need for revenge, the young men vowed to stay loyal to one another like brothers. Together, they set out and succeeded in avenging Old Timer's death by killing Hernandez. That act marked the beginning of their descent into the dangerous world of organized crime. In the present, Police Captain Marie Goldman faces pressure from her superiors to drop the case. They argue that Charlie is just an ex-mafia member and that gangland killings are not the police's concern. But Marie refuses to back down. With firm determination, Marie continues her investigation, determined to uncover who tried to kill Charlie. She visits him in the hospital, where he is slowly recovering from a grueling surgery. Despite her efforts to question him, Charlie says nothing, filling the room with tension and mystery. Frustrated, Marie leaves the hospital just as Charlie's lawyer, Martin, arrives with his two close friends, Kareem and Pat. That night, after putting her son to bed, Marie received a sudden phone call that left her shaken. Old wounds reopened, and she spent the rest of the night drinking quietly, lost in memories of her late husband. Meanwhile, Kareem, burning with anger and loyalty to Charlie, vowed to take revenge. He was determined to find and confront whoever was behind the attack, no matter the cost. Martin urged Kareem to stay calm and wait for Charlie to wake from his coma before taking any action. Before leaving, Kareem told Martin to watch over Charlie and never leave his side. Later at the hospital, a man disguised as a medical worker quietly slipped inside and made his way to Charlie's room. Without hesitation, he pulled out a gun, pushed the door open, and fired several cold, precise shots at Charlie. Gunshots rang out through the hospital, sending doctors and nurses running toward the noise. When they arrived, they found a body, but it wasn't Charlie. Thanks to her foresight, Captain Marie had already moved Charlie to another room before the attack. She quickly increased security and assigned a team to guard the hospital around the clock to keep him safe. While overseeing the situation, Marie spotted Tony Zacchia arriving to visit Charlie, which only deepened her suspicions. During his visit, Tony sighed in relief when he saw that Charlie was still alive. Before leaving, he left a card that carried a hidden warning reminding Charlie that surveillance cameras were everywhere and that the police were watching from an ambulance outside. Not long after, Kareem and Martin arrived and quickly helped Charlie leave the hospital. Marie noticed their movements and immediately followed, determined to keep track of where they were going. Karim soon realized they were being followed and accelerated to lose the tail. He called a friend for backup, and when Marie eventually lost sight of them, he drove straight to an old warehouse. Inside, one of Tony's men was tied to a chair, trembling with fear. Charlie, calm but cold, told the man that nothing would happen to him as long as he cooperated. Terrified, the man confessed that he wasn't part of the shooting but revealed a shocking truth. Tony Zacchia, Charlie's former best friend, had ordered him to spy on and target Charlie. Tony wanted him dead because Charlie had left the criminal world, handing over control of the drug trade to him. Now, Tony feared Charlie might come back and threaten his power. The revelation left Charlie stunned and heartbroken, unable to believe that his closest friend had betrayed him. Karim urged Charlie to kill Tony right away, but Charlie hesitated. Tony wasn't just an old friend, he was like a brother, someone who had once sworn loyalty to him in their youth. That bond made the choice unbearable. Seeing Charlie struggle, Karim backed off, and Martin took Charlie home, where his family greeted him with warmth and relief. The reunion brought Charlie a moment of peace after all the chaos. Meanwhile, Karim returned to his own family, but later that night, Tony's men ambushed and kidnapped him. It was soon revealed that the man tied up in the warehouse had secretly planned Charlie's kidnapping all along. He had betrayed Charlie in an attempt to win back Tony's trust, but his plan backfired. Tony had him shot dead on the spot. As a brutal message, Tony's men cut off one of Karim's fingers and sent it to his family as a warning. Charlie had been absorbed in his work and daily routine, unaware of what had happened until he learned of Karim's death. The news hit him hard, filling him with grief and disbelief. At the funeral, he stood in silence, watching Karim's family weep, his heart weighed down with sorrow. Soon, that sorrow turned into burning anger, and his need for revenge grew impossible to contain. Before setting his plan into motion, Charlie told Pat to take his family somewhere safe, away from danger. That night, Tony's men threw a loud, carefree party, showing no remorse for torturing and killing a man just the night before. But their celebration wouldn't last long. Charlie had now turned into a relentless force, ready to bring them all down. Unarmed, Charlie calmly gave the men one final chance to say goodbye to their loved ones, knowing their time was almost up. Spotting a familiar watch on one man's wrist, he realized it was the same person who had shot him before, and without hesitation, he pulled the trigger. As panic spread, Charlie slipped away with ease, leaving the others frozen in fear. The next day, one of Tony's men went to visit the graves of the dead, but before he could even light incense, Charlie appeared and killed him. Realizing Charlie had started his revenge, Tony quickly ordered his men to search Charlie's home and family, but they found nothing. Meanwhile, Charlie remained calm and hidden, quietly resting with his loyal cat in a secluded corner of the city, unaware that Tony's men were hunting for him. Sometime later, Martin, Charlie's lawyer, arrived at the house and was stunned by the mess inside. He quickly warned Charlie, not realizing that one of Tony's men had followed him and uncovered Charlie's hideout. Within moments, they were surrounded. Calm and resolute, Charlie stood his ground, fighting off the attackers while Martin managed to escape by boat. One of Tony's men caught up with Martin, trapping him with no way out. Meanwhile, Charlie sped off on his motorcycle, but Tony's men were close behind. During the chase, a police car and was immediately arrested. This brought him face to face once again with Captain Marie Goldman. That same night, Tony hosted a lavish wedding for his daughter, a striking contrast to his violent deeds. Unseen by anyone, Charlie waited outside and captured one of Tony's men. Before taking action, he demanded all the information about Tony's drug operations, determined to uncover every secret. When Tony found out what had happened, his fury exploded. He stormed out of the party and raced to his drug lab, seething with anger. No longer able to contain himself, he ordered his men to hunt down Charlie dead or alive. The next morning, Pat went to pick up Charlie's children, Anatoly and Eva, from school. Everything seemed ordinary until a truck suddenly pulled up nearby. In an instant, the men inside grabbed the children and sped away. By the time Marie arrived, it was already too late. Not long after, the police found Eva and brought her safely to the station. Bruised and exhausted, Eva collapsed and told the police that Anatoly would be killed unless Charlie turned himself in. Later, as Captain Marie left the station, Charlie suddenly appeared and got into her car. He asked her to broadcast a fake news report saying he had been captured, hoping it would make Tony stop the search and release his son. Charlie promised to surrender once his son was safe, and Marie agreed to help him. When Tony heard the news of Charlie's supposed arrest, he was furious and ordered one of his men to kill Anatoly. Unaware of the truth, Tony didn't know that Charlie was secretly following the henchman on his motorcycle, racing toward the place where his son was being held. Inside the house, one of Tony's men was guarding Anatoly and had been ordered to kill him right away. But instead, he panicked and decided to let the boy go. Outside, Charlie was caught in a barbed wire fence, struggling to break free. When the thug tried to shove Anatoly into the car trunk, Charlie burst out, overpowered him in a furious fight. And rescued his son. When Charlie returned home, he told his wife they no longer needed to hide. He had taken care of all of Tony's men. The next day, Charlie showed up unexpectedly while Tony was relaxing. Though Charlie was ready to end the feud out of respect for their old friendship, Tony, blinded by his hunger for power, was determined to destroy him once and for all.
Fini pareil, mais j'ai le meilleur réflexe. Donne-moi ça. Tu disais 3 jours à vivre, alors j'ai vécu tes blessures. Oui, Charlie.
Tony tackled Charlie to the ground and aimed a gun at his face, but the moment he lowered his guard, Charlie turned the tables and overpowered him. Just then, the police arrived and arrested Tony for running a drug operation. It was revealed that Charlie had secretly helped Captain Marie collect enough evidence to bring Tony down. When the police questioned Charlie, they found no proof connecting him to any drug crimes, so they had no choice but to release him. After leaving the station, Charlie was picked up by Martin, who asked him to visit the parking lot where he had been shot. There, Charlie discovered that Martin had been the one who fired at the wall that day. Feeling betrayed, he raised his gun at Martin, but Martin quickly explained that Tony had ordered him to kill someone without saying who the target was. When he realized it was Charlie, he couldn't go through with it. In truth, the bullet Charlie had fired at the wall was his way of thanking Martin for sparing him. In the final scene, Charlie and his family are seen enjoying a peaceful day at the beach, walking together happily under the golden sunset.